What's the craziest thing you got bullied for as a kid? I'll go first. And I was in the second grade, and I just want you guys to let that sink in real quick. This was the second grade. At my old elementary school, there was this one girl, and she was not fond of me. Like, she did not like me. In fact, she hated me. I never knew why, but it's okay. The feeling was definitely mutual. And she was in my class, so every day I would have to see her. And almost every day I would hear her talking bad about me to other students that I literally like didn't even know. Basically telling them to not be my friend. Anyway, this girl would always make fun of me for being skinny. And unfortunately, that's not the craziest thing she bullied me for. Because of this, I've been skinny my whole life. Like, that's just how my body works. But I would still try to eat a lot so I can gain weight until this girl was like, I'm gonna give you something else to be insecure about. One time at lunch, she was literally pushing me and making fun of me and calling me flapjack because I had no boobs in the second grade. Now that doesn't get to me anymore. I hope she sees this and she realizes that I got the last laugh. At the time, I would literally pray every single day. I would be like, please let me have a rack when I'm older. I would pray every single day. And my wish came true. Now you're probably wondering, Maggie, did you ever clap back at her? I did. And you guys might cancel me for what I said. But please be reminded, I was in the second grade and don't throw stones from a glass house. So I was like, you know what? If she's gonna come at me, I'm gonna come back at her. This girl was definitely the start of my villain era. One day before lunch ended, we were gonna go back to our class and she had called me flapjack. So I said, the only reason you have boobs is because you're fat. And a teacher was nearby and she heard me say that. So she pulled me aside and she goes, Maggie, oh my God, like you can't say that to other students. That's not okay to say. And I was just like, where were you when she was calling me a flapjack pancake? That is definitely not something I would repeat today, but at the time I was so done and tired of it. I was just so tired of going home and researching ways to grow my chest in the second grade. I will say though, after I hit her with that comeback, she definitely stopped messing with me. I had always tried to be her friend because I was a lover, not a fighter, until she put me in my villain era. But yeah, that's such a crazy thing to get bullied for in the second grade. I'm just happy my prayers got answered. Love you.
Story time on how a boy threw a basketball at my head and I cried while I make slime. That ball hit me like it was a rubber bullet. It took the air out of my chest. My 9th grade year was a freaking mess, y'all. A freaking mess. A lot of people in high school thought I was annoying, loud. They didn't like me, okay? So back then, like, being darker, it was really hard because, like, if you were dark, you had a stereotype of what you had to look like being dark. It didn't make it any better because my girl best friend was literally a light skin with blue eyes and a nice curve. I was considered as her ugly sidekick, the ugly darker friend. It happened during class, y'all. So we're at PE, me and my girl best friend and a couple other acquaintances are like talking, laughing, just doing regular high school things. I kind of had my head towards the ground, right? And I see something over my head, but it's just like this, like I see the shadow of it. I see it flying over my head, obviously, but I didn't do anything. Why? Because literally it was in the air for at least a minute. Next thing y'all know, boom, I'm tripping over myself. If you ever play Call of Duty and someone throws a flash at you, that's exactly what happened. That ball hit me like a rubber bullet. I thought I had been taken out. Automatically, I had blacked out for like at least a second, and I looked down at the ground and I just look up and I just see everybody going like, oh. My girl best friend is literally laughing at me, and I look to my side and I literally see a bunch of boys laughing. At this point, my girl best friend, she comes over, she's like, oh my gosh, like, are you okay? But she, she's kind of chuckling, and I have tears in my eyes, y'all, because when I tell y'all, that basketball smacked the tears out of me. For a second, I didn't realize I got hit with a basketball, y'all. Like, I didn't realize it until, like, my girl best friend was like, is your head okay? No, my head was not okay. I'm really not trying to cry in front of all these people, y'all. But like I said, it smacked me so hard, it smacked the tears out of me, okay? How I knew that ball was intentionally thrown at me is because the way the basketball court was set up. We were at the black top. We were on the black top, and we had a basketball court, and then after the basketball court, we had like this other look, just black top, straight black top. Literally, basketball court, the hoops, I'm way over here. So the only way that ball should have hit me the way that it did is if somebody intentionally threw it with all the force they had. Because, y'all, we had stray balls roll over, every once in a while. But they would roll over to us because how far we actually were. In my head, I'm thinking it's my time to go when I got hit by that ball. I thought God was coming to get me because I swear I seen the light. He ended up taking me down to, like, the nurse's office. And I'm kind of, like, not bawling my eyes out. But you could see tears leaving my eyes because I was hurt. Okay? But I was trying to act like I was okay. That's the story on how they threw a ball at me, and they never even said sorry. They didn't even come to check up on me, yeah.
Give me the tea. What's the drama?
In high school, this boy constantly called me the N-word, and even sometimes he'd call me the N-word with the hard R. I was obviously very mad about this, and I confided with one of my close teachers, and I told her about him calling me the N-word and how it's like making me upset. She ended up going to the AP and telling the AP on me, afraid that I was going to do something to the boy. So I got in trouble, not the boy. Moving on, we graduate high school. I thought I would never see that boy again. One day I opened my apartment door, the dude is in my kitchen. Jordan was in my kitchen and I was just frozen. I couldn't do anything. I'm speechless. Like, what is this dude doing here? It was literally like my nightmare was in my kitchen. When he saw me, he wanted to give me a hug. He was like, Crystal, hi! He apparently became friends with my roommate, and that's why he was in my kitchen. I was literally shocked and speechless, and the only thing I could say was like, get out of my apartment. Some time goes by and he's like hanging out more with my roommate, and then later on he confesses to my roommate that he's in love with me. He tells my roommate that he thinks I'm also in love with him because I'm always so mean to him. He thinks I'm just playing. What's not clicking, Rick? Long story short, he ended up disappearing. I think that boy had a chemical imbalance. I'm not even playing. And I ended up getting my lick back on that high school teacher. Don't worry, but that's for another video.
The other day at work, I had two moms come up to me asking me if I was single for their sons. I'm a barista at a cafe, so I make drinks, take orders, and serve. This one family comes in with two sons and one younger girl. One of the sons was about my age. I only remember because he had like the bluest eyes ever. I take their order and they sit down. As I'm serving them their food, I notice that they're kind of acting a little weird, but I don't really think too much of it. They order more food, so I put it on their tab, and later their mom comes up to pay. As she's paying, she looks at me and she's like, so, do you have a boyfriend? I kind of like awkward laugh, and I'm like, yeah, I do, why? She was like, oh, my son thinks you're really cute, but he was just too shy to come up. I was like, oh, thank you, but yeah, I do have a boyfriend. She kind of seemed like a little upset after that, but I mean, like, it's not really my fault. Like, I did feel bad, like, I feel really bad, but it's like not my fault I have a man, you know? Now, even an hour later, I had like this like group of like older ladies come into my work. And when I was taking their order, this one lady was like, oh my goodness, like, you're so beautiful, like, you're so gorgeous. She was saying it like mostly in Spanish, and then she was like, where are you from? And then she was like, I have a son. In my head, I was like, not again. Like, of course I was being nice, so I was like, oh, that's cute. She was like, yeah, he does auto repair, he does this, he does that, he's very handsome. And then she asked me, are you married? Am I married? I laugh and I'm like, no, I'm not married. And then she asked if I had a boyfriend. I was like, yes, I have a boyfriend. She still proceeds to talk about him, and she even pulls up a picture of her and him. It was so cute, but like, no, like, this guy had to have been like in his late 20s. I was like, oh, yo 16 años. Like, I'm 16. She was like, oh, you're a youngster. No, but she was super nice though, and she kept complimenting me, and like, she even called me her baby. But yeah, that's probably like one of the most craziest work days I've had. But that's it. Thanks for watching.